David, how are these bans working, and is this a good way to actually keep the children focused as they're starting this new school year?
Good morning, Tom. And kids are distracted. I was distracted as a kid. I didn't have social media and a phone. And it's critical that school districts figure this out. And they figure it out in a way that's effective and cost effective. And when you're banning cell phones, it's a really cool idea because what schools are doing is they're giving kids these pouches where they lock up their cell phone and only a teacher or an administrator can unlock it. So they have their cell phone, but they can't use it during the day. And here's the kicker, Tom, is that it is not that expensive, right? We're talking about $20,000 total to buy pouches for these kids, and it's working. School districts across this country are saying kids are more focused, they're playing more sports, and parents are concerned that they want kids to have access to their cell phone. Well, they still have their cell phone. It's just they can't use it during that 6 or 7 hours of school.
A friend of mine is a teacher in Texas. They have that exact same pouch system, and they say it's funny because you go into classrooms and you start hearing kids talk. They're actually having conversations with each other as opposed to when they were just sitting there on the phones, texting someone that may be sitting right next to them, but there's no conversations. And now you start seeing that. What other kind of feedback, though, are we getting, especially from parents? Because I know a lot of parents will automatically say, well, what if I need to get in touch with them? What if there's an emergency?
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're installing phones in the classroom. So if there's an emergency, teachers can call the parents, parents can call the teachers. So there is going to be communication. And Tom, remember when we went to school, there was a way to get a hold of teachers, a hold of the school. So, we didn't need cell phones back. And I'm not going to say when we were in school, but we didn't need cell phones back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't hooking up the horse when we were showing up in that one classroom room, but I get it. I mean, yeah, we didn't have them. I mean, we weren't allowed to use our pagers either. But what's the argument against the bans? I mean, what are people saying, okay, no, we don't need these bans?
Really, they say it's a safety issue. Okay. And again, it really isn't a safety issue because there are things that are going to be put in place. Now, my concern is that school districts are suing social media companies, and that's going to cost a lot of money. We're talking tens of millions of dollars in legal bills, which may not solve the problem. So if we are really concerned about children, let's look at what's working. You mentioned what's happening in Texas. Maryland is doing the same thing. Some school districts are doing the same thing by suing, and that's costing money, but they're also looking at other ways by putting them in pouches and maybe mini lockers. So I'm glad school districts are thinking outside the box here. And it's like, how can we get students focused back in on what they should be doing is talking to each other and learning in the classroom. Yeah, learning in the classroom and all different types of scenarios there too, from the pouches, locking them in your locker, or just not showing them if they are allowed to continue carrying them. If they do, they confiscate them back when cell phones first came out. David Williams, thank you. We appreciate it.